guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to be doing a sit down video, and what I want to talk to you about, I've talked a little bit about before, but not to any great extent, and I won't be going into great detail today other than showing you some of the books that I wanted to talk to you about, and the reason why I want to keep them. That's what this whole video is about books that I feel like every person should have in their home, or something like these, maybe not these exact ones, because a lot of times we will use the internet a lot more than what we utilize books for. And one, we don't find the information, we get confused. There's a lot of different people saying different things. So if you go to books, usually there's experts that have been doing this for years, so you find that you get better information, more explained. And a lot of times I've noticed on different blogs and different things, they entice you and they have you coming in and they want you. Daisy, get away from my camera. She is a shaking, y'all. They entice you, and they give you a little taste of the goods, and they tell you a little bit, and then they're like, well, buy my book. So I don't normally do that. I don't normally buy the book because it gets me a little irritated. So I'm like, no, why did you just tell me a little bit and then get me all wondering, and then you just tell me to buy your book? Then I have to just know. So I have, over time, just looked for different types of books, and they're all homesteading, prepping, that kind of lifestyle related. Daisy, would you not scare me? Get off the camera tripod. I'm gonna have to fight her. I don't know why. I don't normally sit here. This is Jeff's chair. This is where Jeff sits. I mean, it's our chair, but it's where he sits. But what I wanted to do, and I'm going to have to break this up into more than one video because I don't want it to be forever long. I'm going to share with you a few books. It may be 3 videos. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to show you a few books, and then I will, share more. I don't want it to be so long that y'all don't want to watch it. And I feel like I have intros that are 5 years long. So let's just get started. And I'm going to show you the book, tell you why I want it, and I'll also leave a link in the description, if I can find one, of where you can get the book as well. I do get a lot of my books from thriftbooks.com. That link is always on my link tree as far as I know. So let's get started. One of them that I really like, and I have another one of these. I don't know if it's right here. It's a different version, but I'll have to find it. It may be over there, but maybe I'll show y'all next time. But anyway, this one is Back to Basics. It's a Reader's Digest book. It's how to learn and enjoy traditional American skills. Now, this is a very old book. Oh, there's a Brett Barbary baseball card in there. Is that worth anything? I have no interest in baseball, but I'll sell it. 1992. Okay. Anyways, sometimes you can get these types of books from the libraries too. They will sell them. This book is from 1981. That's when this one was written or printed, and I'm going to show you a little bit about it, but it teaches you about buying land. Oh, let me get those things. They keep falling out, so I'm going to move them somewhere else. Buying land and things like that, and different types of country properties, things like that, which you guys know we do not live in the country anymore. We live in the city. We are trying to get back to the country because that's where we belong. But in God's time, we'll get there. It teaches you about buildings and water and things like that, and about planning your home, planning your plot. Now, this person, whoever had this land, it would have to be a big plot, but it teaches you how to set it up to have an abundant, thriving homestead where you could be self-sustaining and things like that. And it teaches you about different types of ways to build a log cabin. So building homes. And it teaches you about, this type is a let's see, adobe house. It teaches you about, I mean, there's just lots of different things that it teaches you on how to do things, how to do ponds or cisterns. And it teaches you, let's see, I don't want to go through the whole entire book, but it teaches you about different fruits and vegetables. And this is one of my favorite parts because it has awesome pictures, and they're old pictures, but you still, I mean, fruits and vegetables look the same. I mean, there's some that they have done some wildness to, but but anyway, it shows you different ways that you can grow, like have gardens, and it tells you about different plants, what, like vitamin C in strawberries. It's just a really good, well-rounded book. It tells you about curing and smoking. I know I'm not really showing you very well, but, and it also teaches you about different crafts and different things you can learn for your homestead, learning how to build furniture and how to even, what is this they're doing? Sketching to finishing pieces. I don't know, I guess they're etching. Oh no, there's ink. They're scratching that, whatever that is. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but ow, I hit my knee with this book. It's very heavy, but it teaches you about tools and just all kinds of things. Soap making. It's just a well-rounded everything book. Now, it's not going to go into deep detail of things, but it does give you lots of different awesome things to think about, a lot of different ways to do things. It teaches you a lot, and I just love this book. I love looking at it, I love reading it, I love learning from it. Okay, so there's that one. And then another one that I really like is this one. Is called The Ultimate Guide to Homesteading, an Encyclopedia of Independent Living. It seems there's dust on everything, but this one talks to you about, I mean, this one is got about buying land, water purification, logging, homeschooling, herbal medicine, canning, choosing different breeds, nomadic shelters, seed storage, pottery, sewing, and other lost arts. Because, you know, we weren't taught these things in school. I'm 45 years old, and nobody ever taught me how to grow a plant. They barely taught me how to cook anything. They didn't teach me how to build things. They taught me how to, I was in ag, which they don't have that anymore, but as far as I know, some schools may, but it was, about agriculture and things like that, and woodworking and things, and they taught me how to engrave my name into a piece of wood. I still have the piece of wood. It's got mine and Jeff's name on it because we were dating at the time. I was, but yeah. Anyways, this right here talks about different types of harnesses for horses, and it talks about different types of animals. I mean, this is beautiful pictures in this, but it teaches you about different types of buckets and how to split wood, and it teaches you about different kinds of plants. And you know, there's a lot of plants that people call weeds, that they are actually God's medicine. I'll talk to you a little bit about that with another book. In fact, I think I'll go to it next. I have a couple of those, though. But it even teaches you about birthing a baby. About having a baby at home. Because, and it talks about different things. Because, you know, sometimes, like my mama had 4 of her children. She has 8 children. 4 were born at home. 4 were born in the hospital. I was one of the ones born in the hospital. But it tells you about that kind of thing. It even teaches you how to sew up wounds if you need to. But it talks about herbs that can cause miscarriage, and it talks about how you can deliver a baby at home alone if you have to. You need a midwife, you want a midwife, you want someone there to help you, but sometimes you don't have that option. But it teaches about that kind of thing. This is just an everything book. It's everything. Gardening, different types of gardening, and it just teaches you about lots of stuff. It teaches you about canning, and it's got a whole dictionary in the back of what different words mean, what different things mean, and it's got a lot of resources as well. I believe there's a lot of resources. It tells about how to help with like strep throat and whooping cough and measles and meningitis and all kinds of things. But it also has like different places that they got information from. But this is a very well-rounded book. I want to say that I got this from Tractor Supply, but I'm not sure. But I will find it and leave it linked down below. And then, excuse me. Another book that I really love is this one right here. It's The Green Pharmacy. And I actually have 2 books by the same person. And I will show you both of those right now. And then that's all I'm going to show you this time. And because I have more, and I'll show you a little bit each time, because I don't want these to be overwhelming. I don't want them to be too much information. Plus, these might be some you want to put in your wish list, or like you have a wish list on thrift books if you want to, or it may be, your Amazon or whatever. I'm going to try to link them whichever way is the best. But The Green Pharmacy is new discoveries in herbal remedies for common diseases and conditions from the world's foremost authority on healing herbs. And he, from what I understand, is a Christian, or was. I don't know if he's still alive. Y'all, please forgive me. I don't know about Mr. James A. Duke. He is a doctor, though. He has a PhD, anyway. This one was written in 1997, and he may or may not be still alive. He was born in 1929, so he could be still alive. But, it was, anyway, 1997. So, it tells you in the front, it tells you different, like, it'll show you what page what's on. Like, earaches, fainting, infertility, high cholesterol. I'm just reading different ones. Diabetes, body odor, breast enlargement. Oh, why did I say that? I just read it. There it was. Asthma, athlete's foot, cardiac arrhythmia, cold and flus. It just tells you different things and the different herbs that can help those things. It tells you about preserving herbs, harvesting and storing herbs. It tells you about where to buy herbs in bulk and things like that. And about tinctures and what are they called? Tinctures and vinegars and just all kinds of stuff. But it also tells you about different things like the allergies and about, like right now we probably need to be eating a lot of garlic because it's good for allergies. But it just has, it does have some pictures, but it has tons of information about different herbs for different ailments. And the one thing I don't love about this one is I need to read that again. I haven't read it in a while. I think I'm going to leave that one right there and read that one again, because I read it before, but I haven't used it like I should have. I've used some of the stuff, but I didn't use much of it. But anyways, lots of different things, ailments, information that herbs and different herbs can. Okay, so my battery died, and that's nothing new with this camera, which I did talk to the people at GoPro. They're sending me another battery, and that one actually died like it should have. I just been running my mouth too long and didn't realize. Like I said, I was trying to make this a shorter video, but it's not happening. I also found the other book that I was talking about whenever I was talking about the first one, so I am going to show you not just one more. Actually, I had planned on 2 more, but now it's going to be 3. But that's okay. This is the other one by Dr. Duke, and this one is a little bit old, a little bit newer, and I think that his daughter even had part in this one. But this one was from 2008. So this is a much newer one, and it's called Duke's Handbook of Medicinal Plants of the Bible. And I really love this one because it tells you about the different ones that they would use in Bible days. And another reason why I love it is it has pictures. Yes, I like books with pictures when it comes to something like this. Now, my everyday regular books, I don't want that. But when it comes to something like I need to know what it looks like so I don't grab the wrong plant, I want a picture. But this one is, it teaches you a lot about the same things the Green Pharmacy does, but it also has scripture in here. Like, it's talking about safflower, and in Song of Solomon 4:13 through 14, thy plants are an orchard of pomegranates with pleasant fruit, camphor with spikenard and saffron, which is safflower, calamus and cinnamon with all trees of frankincense, myrrh, and aloes with all the chief spices. So God wanted us to use herbs, plants, some of these things people call weeds, even though they're not weeds. But this book just, it goes in a little bit more of a scientific way and a little bit deeper, and it shows you the pictures. It tells you different common names for the different things, and it tells you like the downsides, extracts, the synonyms for things. It's just really a really good book. It's very interesting. It's very good, and I really do like it. It's Duke's Handbook of Medicinal Plants of the Bible. And it has like the dosages and, let's see, covers dosages that have been used historically for various ailments. I just really like the book. It's very informative. Alright, so the other one that I knew I had, which it was right here, but, the one I wanted to show you, I think I've had this book since I was in my teens. I know I've had it for years and years and years. It is from, I bought it for $15 somewhere, or somebody else did. I don't know really where I got it from. It's been so long. But this is from 1976. So this is a year older than me. I was born in 77, so this is a 46-year-old book. And I don't know if you can get it. It's from Reader's Digest as well. It's Complete Guide to Sewing. You may be able to get it, you may not. This is how I learned to sew what I know how to sew. This book right here. And not everyone will want to have this book, but I believe that, and I'm not just talking about men, I'm talking about women. Men need to, my husband can sew. He's a very manly man who can sew. So it's not just a woman's thing to me. But it tells you about making slip covers. It tells you how to make a bedspreads. What do I have marked here? Oh, I think I was just showing this to Jeff. It was the modern bedroom from back then. Oh, that's so funny. But anyways, it's just a really good book. And if you want to learn how to sew or teach your daughters how to sew, or even just little bitty things, it tells you how to measure things, how to make little shoulder bags. I mean, y'all know this stuff's gonna come back in style. Even if it doesn't come back in style, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? But yeah, it tells you about all kinds of awesome things. And I just really like it. It tells you about the different kinds of fabrics, structures of fabrics, all that stuff. But I'll see if I can link that one. I don't know. It's so old. You may or may not be able to. And the last thing that I feel like every homesteader needs, and I may talk about this in every single one of these videos, I think I'll probably only have like 1 or 2 more of these videos about books. I I don't want to say I'm going to do a series on prepping, homesteading, and all that stuff, because my whole life is about that kind of stuff. Everything that I do is about that type of thing. That's what this channel is about, because we are homesteaders in the city and preppers in the city, you know, that kind of thing. And I don't talk about some things a lot, because sometimes I have the thought, well, I don't need to tell everybody what we have, because if I do and something does go down, I don't want somebody invading me and taking my stuff. You know, that kind of thing. And yeah, I feel like some people may say that's fear, but I don't think it is. I think it's just protecting what's mine. Does that make sense? We don't tell everybody everything. It's nobody's business to know everything. But the most important thing that I think any homesteader needs, any person needs, anybody at all, the most important book you can have, and I'm going to take it out of the cover, is a Bible. Now this is a study Bible, and I feel like you need a study Bible. You need a hard copy. You don't need to rely on your apps on your phone. And I am a Christian. You guys know that. I do the Bible studies on Tuesdays. Sometimes I miss them. I tell you why. But this is the most important thing you need. This is the most important book you can get. And it tells you everything you need to know about life. Everything. If you just study it, if you just dig in it, and you don't listen. And I'm going to tell you right now, there are people up in pulpits that are twisting this word. And if you study for yourself, you will find that some people are twisting. And you hear about all these different mega churches and all these different churches, all these pastors are doing all these things, and they're supposed to be leading their congregation. Let God lead you. Get one of these. Get a hard copy. I'm not trying to say that the apps are not good. I use an app, two Bible apps every single day. But you don't know what might happen. You may not have electricity to charge your phone. Then what are you going to do if you don't have a hard copy? You won't be able to read your word that day. You may be out of power because there's a storm. I mean, there's been times where storms came through and people didn't have a power for weeks. The grid may go down. We don't know. I don't know what might happen. There's been a lot of times that the data for internet, you know, for the phones didn't work. There are areas that I go to, like I go to my mama's house, I can forget it. I can't use my apps on my phone. It's not like I'm not talking about a doomsday kind of situation. I'm talking about everyday life. You may live in a place where you don't have that app. Don't rely on the apps. Don't rely on the internet. Internet goes down. My internet, I'm in the middle of the city, and I pay for a very good internet service. At least it's supposed to be. A very high-speed internet service. But it has messed up several times on me. Y'all know that. I've had times where my videos didn't go up like they should. Well, if you don't have internet and you don't have a hard copy of whatever, whether it be a Bible, a cookbook, a homesteader book, if you don't have a hard copy, you may not have a copy. So, and I'm not talking about doomsday. I'm not talking about the world's going to end and all this stuff. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say, get you a hard copy. If you're like me, you'll have like 50. I do have a lot of different Bibles, different versions, different types. I do need to go through, and I am going to donate some of those. Some of them have sentimental value, and it's so hard. But if I'm not reading them, I need to share them with other people. Not just my Bibles, but my other books as well. I need to go through. But yeah, have a hard copy of the Bible. And honestly, I don't care if you're a Christian or not. Have a hard copy of the Bible. Because there's a whole lot of information about how people got through different things, different struggles, different trials, different tribulations, different things in their lives. They got through them. And this is the ultimate prepper book. That's just my thought. So, hopefully that didn't freak y'all out a little bit. I just want y'all to know how I feel. And I could say a lot more, but I'm not. So, that is the first 6 books that I want to talk to you guys about, that every homesteader, every homeowner, every person I feel like needs in their arsenal. You may not have to have those exact books, but something like it. And I do have more that I'm going to talk about. I want to talk about them right now, but this video is already so long. I need to get it up. And I'll just do another one next week. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I do hope you did get something from this. I hope you enjoyed it. And I do, you know, want you guys to know that I care about you. And the only reason that I talk about these things is because I care about you. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm not saying that things are fixing to happen. I'm not saying things are fixing to go down. I don't know. Nobody knows. I'm just saying these things, you're not going to find all this information in one place on the internet. You're not. You're not going to have all these things about sewing. And let me tell you, it's a whole lot faster to open this up. Well, open it up to the index and say, okay, I want to learn about seams. Turn to page 144, if I can get there. It's hard whenever you're doing it like this. When I read my children aloud, the books weren't this big. Anyway, I can say, okay, there's how I do seams. I didn't have to go search 4,000 different web pages. I just searched 2 pages. It's that simple. Actually, it was at least 3 pages because it was the index and then 2 pages of seams. Plus, there might have been more. I don't know. I don't have the book memorized. I just want to share it with you guys. So, that is all I have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the like button. And if you like my channel, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the bell. Share this video if you would like, if you think some other people would need this information. I feel like I'm super bright today. Maybe not, but I did use my ring light because it is dark in this corner. So, again, I want to thank you. And remember, don't take any wooden nickels, and